Good afternoon and welcome to Through the Static. This is Steven the Medium on your Wednesday afternoon, and I'm sitting next to
Coach Helix.
Handsome guy, and yet another guy in the room.
Oh.
Producer Mark with number 7. He's good. So listen, if you watched, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm again almost missed the beginning of the show because
you're a hot mess right now.
Chatting on Facebook Live.
Not
and
true.
I kept saying we gotta go.
Not so.
I'll tell you. And you would think Mark would get up and get me. No one cares about me. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mark, what should we do about this, Mark?
Good question, isn't it? And I told him. I said 5 past.
I know. I
can be back.
I know.
And I was reminding him, but he doesn't listen.
No,
well,
I don't listen across the board.
I could have started the theme music and done the first couple of minutes of
you
the
should.
show.
Everyone would have loved that, Mark.
But
they would have loved it.
No, it's your time, and I can't take it away from you.
Well,
I have 2 hours of my own time.
Well, you could just go into 3 hours, right? I mean, but listen, from last week, if you probably, my best friend calling at 5:07.
Like he
knows every Wednesday 5 to 6 is my show, but Paul J. Martin calls at 5:07. Huh?
Yeah.
I know. But
we
listen,
should have.
Last week, I'm telling you, some people will understand this. I was so distracted in such a mess because the clock in the studio, the battery went out. It's the clock I watch all the time. I don't wear watches. With Facebook Live on the phone, I can't see the time. I was a mess. I was a complete mess, not knowing, are we getting close to break? Thank God Mark would tell me. But, in conjunction with Mark's, hand signals, I look at the clock and then I know that he's going to get very, very close to giving me a break. So,
clearly, Mark, being distracted and being a mess is something so unusual for Steven on a good day, right?
First of all, I'm never a mess. I mean,
do
I look a mess?
No, you don't look a mess, but sometimes, you're dramatically messy. Let's put it that way.
You may be having a roommate, Mark, very, very soon.
There's no way.
So listen, thank you, everybody, for listening, tuning in. We're really excited. As always on Wednesdays, there's an update. I'm looking at the brand new cameras that the studio has, which I think it's going to be 2-3 weeks when it completely goes live. They're testing tonight. I was talking to Jim, the manager, and
they are moving.
Yeah,
so
they are
somebody's
moving.
watching.
This is going to be so wild that just an updated, like a live podcast, so that Facebook Live, everyone that follows Facebook Live, will actually be able to stay on my Facebook page, because it will be on the WARA Facebook page, but I'll just share it out, and you'll be able to not only see the whole studio versus Facebook Live, you just see that narrow piece, and you'll also get to hear all the callers, which is really, so key in what mediums do, right? Because people want to hear the validations.
Of course.
And especially, I say this all the time when I do readings and do groups, is that so many times when I finish a group, someone will come up to me and say, when you were talking about Dave, that every single thing you said was connected to my dad. And I always say, that's because it was your dad. He was just jumping in on the microphone, because I always say this one microphone in spirit, and everybody's trying to grab it. So, and as I'm trying to give messages, everybody, of course, wants to talk to their loved ones. That's what it's all about. They love us, right? Our moms, dads, grandparents, if we've lost children, all of that, they just want to let us know that they're here. So it's a great thing. And just as a reminder, as I said on Facebook Live, my class, A Very Different Mediumship class, starts February 10th. I am so looking forward to that. I always love doing it, and it's such a very, thus the reason the title, Very Different Mediumship class, is because it is different. And, I also forget to talk about my CD, because I have a CD that you can go on my website to purchase, and it is like a mini version of the 6-week class. And the class is also remote, so even if you can't make every Monday night, Say there's one Monday night that you have a commitment. It's recorded, so you'll never miss it, and you get the recording and you get the materials. But in any case, the CD is mirrors that in a small way, and one of the tracks is something that I'm really proud of about how to teach people to connect, and I just don't see it a lot. So it's really, really terrific. And
but for those people who know who you are, if you really feel very connected to spirit, you want to learn more about that, get in action.
Yes.
Sign up for this class. Come on, it's one of a kind.
And it's
we want you there.
And you have it. I mean, you have the 6 weeks recorded. And something else that I am branching out, and this is really based on Elix, Coach Elix, is
Coach Elix.
That's
right.
With his back. A couple of weeks ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a full Reiki. I'm a Reiki master and have those 3 levels under my belt. And I decided to do a full body Reiki scan of Elix. And his reaction and feedback was really so incredible because, some Reiki masters that do Reiki, they're also mediums. For me, it's really cool for me because, I do readings anyway, but doing the Reiki was, I don't know how a trip, even though I've never really been high to have a trip, I don't know what that really feels like. I'm just being honest. I'm a good boy, right? Maybe drunk a couple of times throughout the years, but never a trip.
I don't think the people that knew you when you were younger would categorize you as a good boy.
Well, that's true.
Let's just say that.
That's true.
But let me just say from my perspective, because I can speak from the receiver's perspective, it was what I would call a breakthrough session. Like, I really thought I had a breakthrough in the experience and then the conversation we had, because you combine the Reiki and medium, spirit,
right?
And it was, I've been to Reiki sessions before. I've never had that experience. So I said to Stephen, you have an opportunity to do something that nobody else does, and thus this idea was born.
No, in combining it was pretty amazing because I love, every fiber of me loves doing readings. I love spirit coming through and giving messages. That's really my purpose. But to combine that with Reiki and to clear energies, but also tie in the mediumship piece was pretty wild. So I'm going to put it on my website, and I'm going to call it R&R. If you want a little Reiki and reading at the same time, I've been wanting to, and I've never taught Reiki, and I've been wanting to do classes anyway to teach because I really like Reiki, and I think it's pretty amazing, and I think it's, I would love to put my spin on it. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So in February, I think I said this last week, and I said it to Facebook Live earlier, February 4th, we're leaving for LA from Tuesday to a Friday. So that week we won't be here, and we're doing an event there that's going to also be filmed, like the one I just did at the Commonwealth Hotel, which was fantastic. The people were fantastic, and it was great. But if anybody listening knows anybody in LA that would be interested in coming to this event, it's a free event. It's going to be filmed. It's a very, very intimate, small event. Just either call me, email me, send me a private message. Even if you're not there and you know someone who would be interested, it would be February 4th, which is a Tuesday night, and I think it's somewhere around 6:30.
But there's two. That space for that one is limited, but if you still have people that want to come to one...
Well, that's not confirmed yet, Elix.
Okay, I got it.
So, so the 4th is definitely confirmed. So, Elix is just, always puts the apple cart in front of the horse.
I put the intention.
I like
and
the intention.
Without intention, nothing happens. So.
And before we go to break, I tested Elix Mock about Easy Squeezy. He screwed it up. He screwed it. Easy Squeezy, Breezy, he just completely messed it up. So
it wasn't that bad. I was very close.
So the number is 508-222-1320, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Through the Static. You know what? Before I go to a call, I was thinking a couple of days ago that maybe when the show's over, I could maybe record something as a good night. Because growing up, my father always had on "Good night, sweet tight," And pleasant dreams to you. Do you remember Lawrence Welk?
I can.
These two are not looking. I'm not getting any reaction whatsoever.
I can't. I just can't with you today.
I have it.
Yeah,
It's here.
it's there.
Yeah.
You know what? It's yeah, but I don't. I want me on it. You know what I said to Elix? It's drilled into that. It's drilled into my head.
What are you gonna sing?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm just branching out. Reiki, singing. Why not? Right?
Wow.
Okie dokie.
I think I better do what I do best and go to
Yeah,
calls.
let's go to ratings.
Hi, this is Steven.
Hi,
Hi, who's this?
this is Lauren.
Lauren, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Lauren, I got to start with, I have always loved that name, Lauren. I don't know why. It's just always been a name that every time I think about, I think also when I was a kid, there was a little girl, Lauren, that was just so darling and so sweet. So as soon as I heard your name, I just feel that. So I needed to tell you that. And
Oh gosh, thank you.
you got obviously a lot of good energy. If you were named Lauren, it's a great thing. So let's see what's going on here, Lauren. Lauren, the first person who's here for you is a grandfather.
Yeah.
Your dad is still here, right?
Yes, he is.
Because your grandfather gave me that generation, and this. Okay, wait a minute. So wait a minute, are both crossed? There's a dad's dad crossed.
Mhm.
He comes from the right side, but do you also have the left? I mean, I was going to say the left side. Dear God, do you have your mom's dad crossed also?
He is.
Okay. Both of them are stepping forward, and it's really a battle between the two of them. They're both telling me how much they're with you all the time. Did you know, or were you closer to one more than the other?
Not necessarily, but I think we have pretty good relationships on both sides. Yeah, we were pretty close, but I was really young when my grandfather on my mom's side passed away, and I was a little bit older when my dad's dad.
Yeah, that's the breakout. It's just your mom's dad, if you were young. It's just a way to say he was here less period of time. I just never know if it's just number of years or maybe it's just not the closeness, or, something like that. But it's just both grandpas giving. Do you know the brand Lululemon?
I do.
Do you have any idea, Lauren, why I'm getting Lululemon? Do you wear Lululemon? Is there a connection with, or is there LL? Is there abbreviate? Like, is someone, I don't know, connected to you like with an LL name or an LL name? I wrote down LL and then I saw Lululemon. So it's either.
Yeah, it could be LLC. Because I'm kind of getting into music as a business.
Oh, and did you already form the LLC?
It's on the way.
Oh my God, Lauren, how wild is that? It's Grandpa's just letting you know that they're walking in every step of the way. I just said to your grandfather, but you missed the C. I mean, you gave me the LL, but you missed the C. And one of your grandfathers is very funny. He's got a very good sense of humor. But what a wild way! I got to tell you, that's a very different way for Spirit to give me just a sign or to share. So just please know. And why am I getting teacher here? Is someone connected to you that's a teacher or was a teacher?
Yeah, I'd say so. Absolutely.
Is this connected to you?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you taught something or sometimes somebody in the family, like mom, dad, someone was a teacher or someone who's crossed was a teacher, but it doesn't also automatically mean it's academic. It also could mean like teacher of music, as we talk about you getting into music, or cooking. But all I know is there's a validation for teaching because I keep getting the alphabet. So and Lauren, who's the Ava or Anna? Who's the A, Anthony, connected to you? First name, middle name. I keep getting the it's kind of interesting. I get the name. but there's also alcohol. Your grandfather's talking about somebody drinking a lot. So I don't know if this is somebody who's crossed or somebody here, but they're validating it for whatever reason, Lauren. So maybe it could be someone, maybe someone in your family who's crossed. I don't know. And where's Jim, John? Where's the J come in? The G or J name for you?
The name.
It's either living or crossed.
It could be a really close family friend of mine named Jim, or my dad, his name is Gary.
Oh, okay. So I am going to venture to guess that it's Gary. It's just giving a validation. You know, your is there a grandmother crossed?
Oh, is it Jennings? Maybe?
What was that?
The last name Jennings?
Oh, and who's
side.
This is your mom's side?
Yeah, it would be my great-grandmother.
Wow. So both grandmothers are here?
No. So I have one grandma on my mom's side.
Okay, and the other one is crossed?
Yep.
Okay. So it's going to be the one grandmother that's crossed is stepping forward. Lauren, do you remember somebody doing something with apples? Like, I don't know where to go with this. I don't know if it's like a recipe. I don't know if it's a memory.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We used to. My dad and I make apple pies every Christmas and Thanksgiving because we took the cookbook that my grandma on my dad's side had and put notes in them and stuff.
Oh my God, Lauren, how wild is that? You know, it's so cool. It's so cool that your grandmother's giving that as a validation. You got to know that when you and your dad do that, is that your grandma is right there with you and making sure that you do it correctly too. So, yeah, but she said you guys do a great job, by the way, too. You know, it's I love giving the messages, but when it comes to food, it always gets me so hungry because your grandmother's making me smell her pie, and it's like, wow, that smells so good. There's also, Lauren, are there two of you siblings or two others?
Yes, my sister.
Okay, so it's just your grandmother's just giving that. She wants to make sure you know that she's giving a shout out to your sister also. There's is someone in healthcare?
That's my dad.
Oh, so grandma's just giving it. I was in a medical hospital or do something with healthcare. So just know all of these validations. I'll let you, to Lauren, especially for you, to let you know that they're all with you. And I'll tell you, when I signed on to you, all I could hear with not just your name, because I really have always loved Lauren, but it's just you've got the perseverance and really you know what you want and what your loved ones are saying. I know you talked about starting this career. You've got to do it, and you've got to keep moving forward with it because there's a lot of talent there, Lauren.
Okay.
And I just heard your grandfather say, like anything else, there's times that are going to be an uphill climb that are not easy, but you've got the stamina, and especially what your grandfather just said, what he loves about his granddaughter, what he loves about you is that you commit to something, and this your grandfather said, what you're doing now is very different than anything you've ever done in your life. I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah.
And not just about the industry, but just about how you feel about it. So just make sure you keep that with you, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Listen, Lauren, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
All right. Lots of love.
Yeah.
And we will be right back. Welcome back to Through the Static. I was talking on break. Lauren's grandfather, just with the LL and the LLC, is pretty amazing. It amazes me every day. So let me go back to the calls. Hi, this is Steven. Who's this?
Hi, this is Max.
Max?
Yes.
How are you, Max?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, and thanks for calling. So, Max, before I even get into any of your loved ones that have crossed coming through, Max, have you felt, or have you ever had any experiences with sort of like the spirit world?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I've been pretty connected in ways ever since I was young.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, have moments where, I don't know.
Yeah, it's It's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's wild. The when someone's really connected, like above the mainstream, because every one of us are intuitive. But if you fall over or above that mainstream, the first thing spirit will give me is to identify it, acknowledge it, because they're really excited. They want to just make sure you know that it's not a crazy feeling, it's a real feeling. So I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, I do. So Max, let me ask you something. Where does Robert come in?
That's my uncle Bob.
Who's crossed?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple years ago.
So Uncle Bob wants to make sure he's really, really proud of you, and just wants to make sure you know that he's here. And I always say I never really get a lot of times what the relationship was here, like say with you and Uncle Bob. But all I can tell you is that Uncle Bob has definitely become like a guardian angel for you. He's just watching you. He's and guiding you and always protects you, Max. So I love that too, because you are so connected to spirit. Your Uncle Bob just said that he puts a white light over you every day just to keep you protected. So your Uncle Bob just said to me that you're a very strong empath. So you pick up a lot of things from other people, and even intuition, and even knowing. Like if you meet someone, like if you trust your gut, you'll be able to very quickly, above and beyond anybody else, figure out whether this person's good or bad. Empaths are wild, and I love people that are empaths. So so Uncle Robert was talking. There was something else. He was let me ask you, Max. I keep hearing Mason. So,
my roommate and one of my best friends, Cassidy, her little niece, her name is Mason, and they have like a really, really great bond. I think that's only Mason.
Yeah, you know why, Max, your loved ones are bringing up Mason, is spirit wants you to know that they know exactly what your inner circle is. Well, a lot of times people will say to me, that's so random why they bring that up. And it is random. That's what they do all the time. The majority of this stuff is random, but this is a way for me to be able to connect the dots and tell you that they bring that up because this is your friend Cassidy, and it's a way to say that, we're around in your inner group. It's like we're still here and we're with you. But where does I get a dad figure though too. Dad is here?
Yeah, Dad is here.
Okay, so Max, so it's got to be then like a grandfather or great-grandfather figure, and he gives me like Stephen or Stephanie. There's an S.
Me and Cassidy and Stephanie are kind of like a little clan ourselves.
Oh my God. Max, this is so crazy. Oh my God! So just to reiterate, I guess what I said. I guess I didn't say it well enough because Uncle Bob and your, this. Is it one of your grandfathers crossed?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, so it's I love it. It's got to be one of or both of them. Just giving that as a validation. But there's also a mom, like a grandma figure too, that's stepping forward. Is that grandma or is that great grandmother?
I think it would be grandma.
Okay, so there's a grandma stepping forward. One of the grandparents makes me feel, Max, that were you like really young when they crossed?
Yeah, I wasn't born yet when one of them crossed, but the other, I think I was like maybe like 10 years old or something.
Yeah, so the one that passed away or crossed before you were born. It's just a sort of like to identify who they are or which side they are, and just letting you know that they have been with you. As a matter of fact, that grandfather just said to me that when you were born, the last person to hold you before you were born was the grandfather, your grandfather. Where does July come in?
July.
Birthday, anniversary. There's something with. I
think the grandma that I was here for, I'm pretty sure her birthday is July.
Okay. It's kind of funny because when I said July, it almost made me feel like they were doing 2 months, June and July. So probably there's something also in
her name is June. Her name is June.
Oh, Max, are you crazy? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. This is so wild. Yeah, I thought I heard July, but then I heard June. Oh, my God, you're giving me goose pimples. This is all, so much of this is happening, too, is because your energy is so crazy, Max. You're so connected. If you ever decide...
You should be in your class.
Well, I was going to say, if you ever decide to want to really explore this... Even as a mentor, you definitely should reach out to me. And I don't say that to say you should, because Spirit never tells us what to do. It's just that you are freaky connected to it, really, in a good way, Max, in a very, very good way. But there's a part of you that's afraid of it. They're telling me, and a lot of people, even myself, when I figured this out, there's a part of me that was afraid, or there could be just you that just you're good with the way it is. So it's just a great way that and the Planters Peanuts. Why am I seeing Mr. Peanut?
Oh my gosh!
What?
Okay, well, I listened to your last call. You said something about Lululemon.
Right.
And I'm a dancer, and I have ballet and modern class 5 days a week, and I seriously wear Lululemon leggings every day.
Oh my God.
And then you said something about a teacher, and I immediately thought about one of my old dance teachers that had passed. And just yesterday, I go to school in New York, but I came back home to work on a group dance at my old studio, and then when I was leaving, I remember the first day that I came into the studio to kind of meet with her. She kept offering me these peanut butter cookies. She was saying, eat these cookies. And I thought of the peanut butter cookie yesterday, so maybe.
Oh, not maybe, Max. Not maybe at all. That's all validations. As I mentioned, earlier, is that, phone calls before, phone calls after. Anyone who's listening on Facebook Live or on the phone waiting, that's what Spirit does, is that they want to do, they want to reach out to as many people. So in the first call with Lauren, even though she was getting these amazing validations, imagine your loved ones were already starting to say, we're just going to start telling you, Stephen, what Max has been thinking about, and we're just going to start throwing it out. So it's a great way. And your grandmother just said to me that what I said to Lauren about how talented she is, your grandmother just said that was all for my grandson Max too. So you must be an amazing, talented dancer, Max. And I can hear all Spirit that they're so proud that you follow your passion and what you're doing, and and what they also just said is that that's what they're so proud about, and just so proud that you're their grandson and great grandson, because you've got all these great grandparents coming through, and just saying that you always make sure you stay true to who you are. And that's going to bring the happiness, and that's what you're all about, Max. And I actually just thanked your grandmother and Uncle Bob for them letting you get through, because I can just feel that you needed to hear whatever they were saying. So
yeah, it was very beautiful, so I thank you for that as well.
Max, I thank you too. I'm getting tongue-tied because your loved ones are all chatting, and they're applauding right now for everything you're doing. So just make sure you keep that with you, and thank you so much for calling, okay?
Thank you.
All right, lots of love, Max. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
If we could kill about 1 minute, sir.
Oh, so let's kill about 1 minute. So, Coach Helix, how are you?
No, I just want to go back to Max. He was so awesome that maybe we should pay him to be in your class. He was so connected. My God, Max, if you're listening, seriously, You really need to be in Stephen's class. That was mind-blowing.
It really was. I got to tell you, I started with Lauren. She was also very, very connected, and her energy was like off the charts. I didn't tell Lauren that she had angels all around her, and I forgot to, and they just reminded me. So, Lauren, if you are listening, just know that as soon as you tuned in, there were angels around you. And then following up with Max is pretty crazy, right? I mean, this is
and
crazy.
he wears Lululemon, so what's there not to like? I love Lululemon, so thumbs up on
5
that.
days a week.
That's right.
Right? I mean,
if I could afford more Lululemons, I would have plenty of more, but they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, I know, but they're great, clothing. So
I had to ask Elix what Lululemon was.
He thought it was
I
Handy
had no
Bar.
clue.
He had no idea.
Like a Sky Bar?
Yeah.
I asked him while you were on break, last break. I said to him, "What's Lululemon?" So I don't know. I'm old. What can I tell you?
The most important thing is you do your job here, Mark. That's why we love you, right? You keep us going every Wednesday, 5 to 6. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I always get an education every show.
So do I. Every single time I do a reading, I get an education. So we will be right back. And welcome back to Through the Static. And let me go to the next caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this? Hello.
Hi, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well also, and thank you for calling, Stacy. So let's just see what's going on with Miss Stacy. Okay, Stacy. You got a lot of loved ones stepping forward. Stacy, I don't know who this is yet, but they're talking about, I don't know if this is numbers. Let me start with this. Do you do something with numbers?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Is someone very close or connected to you that finance, accounting? The reason why I ask, and I guess let me finish. The reason why I ask is I see numbers, and it almost makes me feel like refinancing or someone does something in finance or accounting or...
Yes. My brother-in-law.
And does he do something like in accounting, you mean? Like finance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I know, as I said, I think to the previous call or the one before that, is that you may say that's random, and it's just a way to let you know that who's... Oh, wait a minute. So is Mom crossed?
No, my mother is not.
Okay, so it's Grandma. But you got a very strong mom and dad figure stepping forward. So Grandma and Dad, is this Dad or grandfather?
It would be grandfather.
Okay, so both grandparents, Grandma and Grandfather. Okay, so both of them stepping forward, but a big, a very big protective kind of spirit and energy as they step forward for you, Stacy. Stacy, there's also what feels like a sister or sister-in-law, or she steps forward saying that she's a young female. So when I get young female, it's a female who crossed way before their time. But that doesn't mean like it has to be very young. It could be, 30, 40, 50, 60, because that to me is still so young. Do you have any...
Yeah, my aunt.
Okay, but your aunt crossed younger.
Yes, she was 67.
Okay, perfect. So just know it's her. Does both your mom and dad have sisters?
My mother does. That's my mother's sister.
Dad doesn't have sisters?
No, he has a brother.
Okay. That's very interesting. I asked that. There was a reason why I asked that. I felt like I was going back and forth with both sides, because I always ask when you said it's your aunt, are you mom's sister or dad's sister? But it's very interesting, Stacy, because your father's side said that I had sisters on both sides. I don't know if maybe, on your dad's side, maybe there was a miscarriage. All I know is that it felt like there were sisters on both sides.
Okay.
So just keep it with you. Stacy, Bob or Barbara or Bill, who is this?
That crossed are here.
Either. Could be either.
My husband is Bob.
So when someone says my husband, then I know exactly they're giving a validation to your husband who's here.
Yes.
Okay, just giving a validation. There's there's on your husband's side. I know we talked about your aunt, who she says auntie though, so your aunt is here, but your husband also has a young female crossed. There's someone who crossed on your husband's side,
Okay.
because there's also feels like there's a Rose. Who's Rose?
Roseanne would be my grandmother.
Oh, so Grandma Roseanne. You know, I always love when I ask someone coming through what's your name right away, and they just decide that they're going to tell me on their own terms. So just know Grandma Roseanne was like, you know, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you when I'm ready to tell you. So just know that Grandma Roseanne is always around you. And there's also a Mary. Marilyn?
Marilyn's my mother.
Oh, wow. So just giving
Holy crap.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I love that. I love that. So is Grandma Roseanne your mom's mom?
Yes.
Oh my God! So she just gave a big shout out to her daughter. That's so wild.
Yep.
So how great is that? Where's the truck come in, or trucking? Oh, wait a minute. Did someone just move?
Yes.
Oh, because I just said, your grandmother just yelled at me. She was like, no, don't, be specific, Stephen, not truck, because I saw a U-Haul. So I knew someone just moved.
Well, it's truck. It's funny that you said truck because it's my oldest son who bought a truck and moved. Is kind of traveling and now in Florida, yes.
Yeah. It's all double, triple validations. That's what it's all about, Stacy. To let you know that they're in this. I don't. Do you have 3 kids?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so it's just grandma just giving that as a validation. So make sure you know that they're watching over you. You've got a very good and big 2020. I don't know what is going on with you, but all I know is that your grandma just said to me, it's like a finally good. Not to say that other years weren't good, but your grandmother just said 2020 is a good year for my granddaughter.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So just make sure you keep that with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Listen, Stacy, thank you and lots of love, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All righty. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Hi, Stephen. It's Mark. How are you today?
Hey, Mark. Good. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks.
Okay, so let me tune in. Mark, the first thing that I get when I heard your voice, who's Robert? Robert or Richard or Roberta? Or is someone's middle name Robert or Rick or Richard?
No, I have an Uncle Bobby.
Okay, so Uncle Bobby who's here or crossed?
No, he had passed.
Okay, so know that it's just a way that your Uncle Robbie, you said?
Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay, just let you know that Uncle Bobby is stepping forward to let you know that he's here. He just said to me that my nephew would never have thought I'd be first to step forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's just saying he just wants to make sure you know that he's here with you.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Stephen. Uncle Bobby was a deacon, and before I was trying to get on with you, I was thinking of my Uncle Bob, which is his real name is Robert, but I had thought of him as I was trying to get into you because he is. I consider he's an angel, you know.
I love that.
That's the only thing I can get the connection on that.
I love that. I love the fact that you thought of him and he was coming in. But he said to me that I don't know if you didn't think he would come through or not get through to me. I don't know what it is. All I know is that the most important thing is you had him in your head, and he is giving the greatest validation, Mark, to say, I heard you. Yeah, I heard you, Mark. You asked or you thought of me. I'm here. So
yeah, I did. I actually thought of him, and to me, it was like, well, it probably wouldn't be him if I ever did make some kind of connection with somebody, and that's probably where he got it.
Yeah, it's exactly.
I didn't think it was him.
It's exactly it. And what an amazing validation to give you. And when you just said about you feel like he's an angel, Mark, I got to tell you something. It is so way beyond an angel. I mean, he's always with you. He's always protecting and guiding you as a guardian angel. But your uncle Bobby has, and I know you said what he did as a deacon, but he's got. I can see, which I rarely see. I can actually see the archangels behind him. I mean, you are in good shape in reference to spirit and who's watching and helping you. It's pretty wild. And he just said, make sure, tell my nephew to talk to me more. He wants you to keep chatting with him, even if it's once a week, to say hi, Uncle Bobby. He loves that, and he's just always with you. He talks about the cemetery, Mark, and I'm not really sure why. He talks about I don't know if what is he saying? He keeps bringing me to the cemetery. Do you know if somebody goes to see him? Or did someone just recently go to a? I'm standing in the cemetery and I can actually see the headstones. So I know he wants to. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Is there a certain one? Is there a certain one that's coming through?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a female. It's like a grandma or mom figure stepping forward, and they're talking about. They're talking about like being. I almost makes me feel, Mark, that when they were whoever crossed when they were here talked about. I want to make sure I'm buried with this person or relative, or it's very. I'm trying to figure out what Uncle Bobby's talking about and what she's talking about. But there's something to do with the way like either a headstone was put up later or something was different about the burial. And I'm not really sure. Who's John or Jim or Jack? George, Jane? There's a GJ.
Jacob?
Who's Jacob?
Jacob is my son.
Oh. Just giving a beautiful validation for your son, Mark. And is he the only boy or the first? Why do they give me one? Is he January or the first of the month? If so does he have? You have other children?
I do. I have one more.
Is it another boy?
Yes.
Okay, so and Jacob's not the oldest.
No, he's the middle.
Okay, so there's something.
I have my son Justin. He's the oldest, and then Jacob was the middle child.
Okay, were you? Who's? I don't know. I don't know if they're talking about one child, like. Or January, there's a birthday or an anniversary this month in January, or the first of the month. But there's a one connection. Unless, do you have a daughter?
Yes.
Oh, so maybe they're giving me
my son's nickname was Ace.
Oh, oh my God. Mark, how wild is that? Oh my God, there's the one. Wow. Yes. Wow, it's pretty amazing. It's for you. They just keep giving me compliments to you, and not because they're family, because they keep saying that they're so proud of who you are, not only as a man but as a dad. You've taken being a parent as a father to places where no one in spirit, and of course, I'm sure you have a great dad and great grandfathers, but I'm telling you, Mark, the validation they're giving for who you are as a dad is pretty spectacular.
Well, thank you.
It's pretty amazing. And Uncle Bobby said that he manipulated to make sure you got through, because these lines are so crazy, it's hard to get through. But just know that you needed to get through, and Uncle Bobby said, you know what, nephew, I'm going to take care of you. I'll get you through. So
there you go.
I love it. And you also, like the last caller, you got a lot of good stuff coming up this year. And I wish we could keep going, Mark, but the show's going to end, and I have no choice. So thank you so much for calling, Mark. It was definitely my pleasure to get to speak to you, and I'm giving lots of love to you, okay?
Thank you, Stephen. Keep that window open, buddy. I said hello. God bless you.
I'm here. Thanks,
you. Mark. Thank you. I mean, I say this all the time. The people that call or the people that follow on Facebook. We have the greatest people there is. They are. The energy, the goodness, I love it. And Mark is off the chart with what they were telling me. He's off the chart with what his talent, his smartness. I mean, it's just wild. So, but we're at the end of the show. So, StephenTheMedium.com. Check out my website for the class. Elix, your website?
Well, Performance Coaching by Elex and Coach Elex on Instagram.
Perfect. And me too, YouTube. Oh, make sure you go to my YouTube channel because that's where I put these, the Facebook Live, and I'm going to be starting to do a lot more, which I have on YouTube, Stephen the Medium also. So we'll see you next Wednesday. So everyone have a great, great weekend.
Bye, everyone.